A serious problem in Manila Times. These people are just sick. They don't think before they write something. They write something and it's just totally misinformation. So they wrote an article, Captain America and a comedy team up to lose Ukraine. The title itself is so stupid that it makes my head explode inside with sorrow. It is unbelievably such a stupid article. And basically it talks about how great China is and how bad the United States is. But part of the article said that Ukraine should have just agreed to everything Russia said and just should have became part of Russia to begin with, right? So much of the road is poised in a spiral, potential crisis mode in several major fronts. We have already leading to destabilize the economy and policies of several countries that may lead to another world war. The cause is not Ukraine war, that often blamed by the Western mainstream media, but the insistence of the US to maintain its homogeneity, right? So they're already trying to say everything's the United States' fault right now. It's the United States' fault, not Russia. And by the way, the Manila Times have not run one campaign, one article, one story about anything that's actually happened in Ukraine to the people. They have totally 100% said this is America's fault and China is great. Let's see here. The U.S. security interest and economic controls are the only side that matters. By the way, America's not the only one that's sending them military aid. Virtually every single good country on earth is. Every country. Matter of fact, what's going on in Russia is so bad that other countries want to join NATO now because they're so afraid of Russia. But they won't talk about that. The elements of a world war, the creation of automatically activated military actions to entire blocks and nations, regardless of the facts and reasons, which lead to world wars, are all growing today. The U.S. has expanded military alliance now with the Indo-Pacific. Now they're mad because they're coming to Asia and the United States and they're trying to start a NATO in the United States against China. And that's the real problem. So that's why they're trying to pick on America, right? So set up an aggressive isolation rather than harmonize nations that align with the U.S. So they just want the United States to bow down. And by the way, like I said, the United States is not the only one sending aid to Ukraine, but that's all they're going to talk about. See we get down to what I was talking about earlier. Never has the world experienced so many developed potential crises, right? They talk about everything. They're going to go, it's the United States' fault. And so, despite what the UK and US media are spouting in Ukraine, throwing back the Russian and poised, I hate this, they do articles like that. Where is it at here? Where it happened? Article got in the dang way. Despite what the UK and US media are spouting, Ukraine is throwing back Russians and poised. Ukraine's losing the war, and vast amounts of territory they might have been kept if they just ignored the US rhetoric and complied with earlier agreements. So what they're saying is Ukraine wouldn't have lost all this land if they just complied with Russia and ignored US rhetoric. They are literally blaming Ukraine, US rhetoric, and they should have said that the United States should have just complied with Minsk and agreements. They're not going to tell you what those agreements were. They want Ukraine to become part of Russia, and the people don't want it. They're not writing this article from the Ukraine's perspective, the people's perspective. They enjoyed their freedoms. They're just basically saying, hey, look, they should have just went with Russia. But instead, they just did what America wanted. That's how sick this article is. It is really, really sick. All these dang ads are so aggravating. Hi, Nicole. So comedy actors like Zelensky, so have to mention he's an actor, by the way, may display fighting spirit as actors are wont to. It has nothing to do with acting. He does have a fighting spirit. He's trying to save his country. But geopolitical realities don't allow for sound bites, video angles, and U.S. orders if you are up against the experienced rival like Russia. See how propaganda that is? Like Russia. Manila Times will write anything pro-Russian, pro-Chinese. They're so experienced that they lost generals, Manila Times. They're losing troops. It's a 7-to-1 kill ratio. For every 7 to 8 Russians, 1 Ukrainian dies. That's experience? That's what you call experience? Leveling cities? Using everything you have in your arsenal to kill everybody? Raping, graping women? Killing kids? That's experience? That's what you're trying to say? How sick is Manila Times? Maybe if they had been through an American divorce, we would understand they could try to keep everything. You might lose everything. Eastern Ukraine. I mean, this article is really long, and it is really, really, really sickening. Manila Times, you are sick and disgusting people, man. And you know what? Not only did you forget Jesus and thou shalt not lie, but to sit there and make fun of world leaders for trying to defend freedom, and while you're trying to promote Russia and China, you are sick individuals in the head and you need mental help. You are sick, disgusting people.